Which's Mueller looking at? Else theoretical Mueller's office space is chasing, source told, is if rich Russians utilized stubble donors, Americans in nationality, as a ship via that they could pump cash in the campaigning and assumption of office foundation. In brief, Americans are creature entered to the little world of Rusky oligarchs, but a lot of human beings perhaps don't know which precisely and Tycoon is. The Kremlin, for its portion, says down there are no more than oligarchs. This sentence Rusky oligarchs is deliberate inadequate, Kremlin representative Dmitry Peskov said reporters newly. This period while down there were oligarchs in Russia gone length back, down there are no oligarchs in Russia. To precise all of the up, we went in searching of an Tycoon specialist and found Thomas Graham. On to his biography. Graham is company director of the Rusky teaching program at Yale, a operating CEO at Kissinger Associates Incorporated, wherever he focuses on Rusky and Eurasian sphere, and was specific aide to the CEO and elder CEO for Russia on the domestic safety justice personnel for the authority of George W. Bush. Which's an Tycoon? We at first requested which, to him, is the determination of Tycoon. Oligarchs are wealthy Rusky businessmen who are shut to the chair of force in Russia, he told. Addition, how nearly any wealthy Rusky entrepreneur is an Tycoon, since in Russia down there is a shut relation among individual riches and social force. Wherever did oligarchs go of? He told the way largest wealthy Russians get wealthy is by possessing protection in by the government and work them. But it wasn't ever the path. We are on general couple, at low, of Rusky oligarchs. This period was at first utilized in the medium 90s following the collapse of the Soviets Association, Graham told. A period of large socio-economic distress and a period while the tool of country force were break downward. It was as well a time while you were departure via the large trial of privatization. Out of the tina of changing of communism to semi-capitalism rose of the oligarchs, a little quantity of individuals who utilized their policy force to profit monitoring above individual holdings. We're speaking on the Rusky oil and gas production, the wood and aluminium industries and industries about some nature asset. In how time, Graham told, oligarchs were organized in less groups. A common oligarchic team would include several men in a top country stance, he told. It would include print asset. And it would include safety asset. In how to between time, the oligarchs got wealthy and strong, but Graham told their relation in the by the government began to changing while CEO Vladimir Putin came to force. Who are the new oligarchs? Down there's a new mob of oligarchs who are maybe less in scope rather than the unique bundle but no less than dependent on by the government relationships for their riches. They don't include the identical type of force above the country, yet, since of the force Putin has. Currently, you can't be a multimillionaire and not be an Tycoon since you include several relation in such who are in policy force to support monitoring of yours holdings, told Graham. Are wealthy Americans in policy oligarchs? Which's the distinction among a Rusky Tycoon and an US multimillionaire? Down there are a lot of billionaires in the US who own unbelievable policy force. Michael Bloomberg, nobody. Donald Trump card? And though such not immediately in policy can include policy force. The Koch brothers jump to reason. But he's not the identical as in Russia, told Graham. This distinction in our nation is we include institutions, he told. We include freelance trial system. You can try to impact politics, but you don't include accessing to the policy force to defend yours characteristic. Thou can be a wealthy entrepreneur in the US and not worry about on yours contacts in by the government. He's a slight bit various in Russia, every industry judgment you do, you include to be check in yours contacts in the Kremlin. The by the government can stripe you of yours Tycoon statute. How do oligarchs drop? Thou can miss yours characteristic night if you run afoul of the by the government, told Graham. Why are oligarchs putting in the Western Several of these is a deliberate judgment by these oligarchs to go several of their holdings offshore to places wherever the holdings are secured by the guideline of Act, told Graham, how's why you buy in Miami and London and West Europe. How connected are oligarchs to the Ruski by the government? He added how the great bulk of largest oligarchs' holdings, yet, will stay in Russia, so they're yet at the grace of the by the government. He told he's not for cause how they'd be requested by the Kremlin to do things in the US associated to elections, but if an Tycoon is operational on his or her own name or Russia's could be nobody's wonder. I believe he's as well real how in lot cases, since their fortunes rely on supporting nice relations in such enforce, they are requested by the government to do specific supporter, Graham told. This issue you include is how an entrepreneur in Russia has to work in a various way rather than an entrepreneur in the US since you don't include a safe legislative framework, he told. Yours capacity to support yours conduct on characteristic is confident on yours capacity to support relations in the by the government.